Hi, I am Talking Owl, the storyteller. Today's story is The Children of LIR, an Irish folk tale. Once upon a time, in ancient Ireland, there was a powerful king named LIR. He was the lord of the sea and greatly respected by all. In those days, the Tuatha Dé Danann, a magical race of people, ruled over Ireland. The leader of the Tuatha Dé Danann was a noble and kind-hearted man named Bodhbh Dearg. Bodhbh chose King LIR as one of his closest friends and wanted to form a stronger bond with him. So, he offered LIR the hand of his beautiful daughter, Aoibh, in marriage. Aoibh and LIR were happily married, and soon they had 4 wonderful children whom he loved deeply. Their names were Fionnuala, Aodh, Fiachra, and Conn. Fionnuala, the eldest, was a graceful and gentle girl, and she looked after her younger brothers with a loving heart. Their family was the picture of happiness, and their home was filled with love and laughter. However, their joy did not last forever, as tragedy soon struck. Aoibh became ill and, despite all efforts, she passed away. LIR was heartbroken, and the children mourned deeply for their mother. Seeing how devastated LIR and his children were, Bodhbh Dearg wanted to help. He offered LIR the hand of Aoibh's sister, Aoife, in marriage. Bodhbh hoped Aoife would bring joy back to LIR's family and comfort the children, who missed their mother dearly. LIR agreed, and he married Aoife. For a time, everything seemed to go well. Aoife was kind to the children and helped them feel happy again. But soon, jealousy began to grow in her heart. She envied the love that LIR had for his children and felt as though they were taking all his attention. Day by day, her jealousy grew stronger until it consumed her. One day, Aoife decided she couldn't bear it any longer. She devised a wicked plan to get rid of the children so she could have LIR's love all to herself. She ordered her servants to prepare a chariot and announced she would take the children to visit their grandfather, Bodhbh Dearg. The children were excited, as they loved their grandfather, and they eagerly climbed into the chariot with Aoife. They traveled for hours until they reached a lonely lake called Loch Derg. When they arrived, Aoife told the children to get out of the chariot and follow her down to the water. She had a cruel and evil spell in mind for them. As soon as the children stood by the water, Aoife took out her magic wand and began to chant an ancient spell. Suddenly, the children's bodies began to change. They felt themselves shrinking and saw their arms turn into wings. Their skin turned to soft, white feathers. Aoife had transformed them into swans. "Why have you done this to us?" cried Fionnuala, who was now a beautiful swan with a sorrowful heart. Aoife looked at them with a heart full of cold jealousy and said, "I could not bear to see you loved more than me. Now, you will spend the next 900 years as swans. You will live 300 years on this lake, 300 years on the Sea of Moyle, and 300 years on the waters of Inis Glora." The children were heartbroken. They begged Aoife to have mercy, but she had none. However, she left them one small kindness. They would keep their voices and their ability to sing and speak, so they would never be completely alone. Then, she left them by the lake and returned to LIR's castle. When Aoife returned alone, LIR became worried. "Where are my children?" he asked. Aoife tried to hide her actions by lying. She told LIR that the children had died suddenly. But LIR could not believe it, for he felt a bond with his children that was too strong to be broken by death. He sensed something was wrong and rode quickly to Loch Derg to search for them. As he neared the lake, he heard a sorrowful, beautiful singing. He recognized the voices of his children and followed the sound until he reached the water's edge. There, he saw 4 graceful swans gliding across the lake, singing a sad and haunting song. "Who are you?" LIR asked, although he feared he already knew. "We are your children, father," Fionnuala replied. She explained everything that had happened. How Aoife had cast a spell on them, trapping them in the form of swans for 900 years. LIR's heart broke, and he wept for his children. He reached out to touch them, but they were swans, and he could not hold them as he used to. Filled with sorrow and anger, LIR returned to his castle. He confronted Aoife and demanded the truth. When she finally confessed, Bodhbh Dearg punished her for her cruelty, turning her into an air demon that wandered the skies forever, never finding rest. The children stayed at Loch Derg, as the spell required them to live there for 300 years. Though they were swans, they still felt human emotions. Fionnuala comforted her brothers and did her best to care for them as she had when they were children. They found comfort in each other's presence and in their songs, which echoed across the lake and brought peace to those who heard them. People from far and wide came to listen to the magical swans. They would sit by the lake, enchanted by the beautiful, sorrowful songs. The children longed to be human again and return home, but they knew they had to endure the curse. After 300 years, the children's time at Loch Derg came to an end. They were sad to leave but had to obey the curse. They flew to the Sea of Moyle, a cold and dangerous stretch of water between Ireland and Scotland. Here, the waters were rough, and storms often swept over the sea, making it a hard place to live. The children huddled together, singing to keep each other warm and to pass the lonely hours. The Sea of Moyle was harsh, and they endured many hardships. The cold winds chilled their feathers, and they often went days without food. At times, they were separated by storms, and Fionnuala feared they would be lost forever. But each time, they managed to find each other again, drawn together by the bond of love and family. They spent 300 long years in these stormy waters, longing for the warmth of their father's castle and the days when they were free to run and play. Their songs grew even more sorrowful, as they yearned for a time in life they could never return to. Finally, after 300 years in the Sea of Moyle, the children flew to Inis Glora, an island on the western coast of Ireland. Life on Inis Glora was peaceful compared to the Sea of Moyle. The waters were calm, and the island was a quiet, restful place. Here, the children lived out the last 300 years of their curse. As the centuries passed, Ireland changed. The old ways of the Tuatha Dé Danann faded, and the people began to follow a new faith. Churches and monasteries were built, and the teachings of Christianity spread across the land. The children of LIR sensed the changes but continued to sing their sorrowful songs, hoping their curse would one day end. One day, a kind monk named Saint Mochaomhóg came to Inis Glora. He heard the swans singing and was moved by the beauty and sadness in their voices. When he approached them, Fionnuala told him their story. The monk was deeply saddened and promised to care for them. Saint Mochaomhóg built a small sanctuary for the swans, where they were protected and loved. He would listen to their songs and pray for their release from the curse. The children found comfort in his kindness and felt hope for the first time in centuries. Then, one night, they heard a bell ringing across the land. This sound was a sign that the curse was about to end, for the ancient. Magic was fading, and the time of the Tuatha Dé Danann had passed. As dawn broke, the swans transformed back into their human forms. However, they were no longer children. The curse had aged them, and they appeared as old and withered as the years they had lived. Though they were human once more, their bodies were frail and tired. They knew their time in this world was almost over. With the monk by their side, they shared their last moments together, grateful to be free and at peace. Saint Mochaomhóg gave the children a proper burial, honoring their lives and their suffering. He told their story to others, and their tale was passed down through the generations. The story of the children of LIR became one of Ireland's most beloved legends, a story of love, loss, and endurance. Their spirits were said to find peace at last, reunited with their family in the afterlife. And to this day, their story lives on, reminding people of the power of love and the endurance of the human spirit, even in the face of hardship and sorrow.
If you liked the video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe.